So hello and welcome. I received a request regarding how to calculate the willingness to pay or willingness to trade, and I would like to shed some light about how to do it. Actually, it's very simple, and it is not additional statistics. It is just a different interpretation of the same statistic that you have. And I have a data file. This is the one from the paper we are now presenting at the Academy of Management. So if you want to know it, you can attend the presentation or you can find it. I recorded the presentation in one of my previous videos last week. So what we have, I just want to show you how we coded the scalable variables. We had different attributes and levels, and the last two are the scalable variables. And we were looking at the ecosystems, micro-credential ecosystems, and what are the hurdles in establishing them. And we have different aspects. For instance, collaboration works with dynamic capabilities. There are sensing, seasonal configuration, or no collaboration opportunity. And if you want to know the rest of the attributes, please read our paper. And we had also two things that were scalable, because when you install an ecosystem, making a price tag, especially for the higher education institutions that were our target segment, it makes no sense because people who make decisions, they don't know what the costs are. They can be scared by 1,000 euro. They may not be scared by 1 million euro just because nobody knows how much it costs, at least our target sample. For this reason, we decided to introduce two scalable variables. The first one is the establishing the system would take, and then we have the time in months from 6 to 12, and time saved for a student, the kind of efficiency metrics. So if we install a new micro-credentialing ecosystem, we can save some time for each student's credential. And we decided to go for percentage, just because if it says so and so many minutes, some people know how many minutes it takes. Some people think it's about the hours, and saving 10 minutes is not so much. Some people think it's about 20 minutes, and 10 minutes is actually too much. That is why we decided to go for percentage, and whatever experience of the user is, depending on the higher education institution, it wouldn't work. Now, after you know what are the scalable variables, I want to show you a few things. The first one, how they are coded. And I applied my automatic coding system that codes the scalable variables as ordinal variables instead of having 12 months, 11 months, 10 months. It has just the variable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you look at this scalable variable, 1 stands for 12 months, 2 stands for 14 months, and so on. And the same applies to students. 1 stands for 10% and so on. This led to some confusion because I wrote in my comments that you have to multiply the willingness to pay by this step. And I think this was the confusion just because I need this step because I coded them differently. I need to explain that between 1 and 2, there's actually 5% difference. But I'll come to it in a second. Now we're on our logistic regression. I make a simple one. This is actually what we did. With the only difference is we took as the reference value our risk trust 5 was the reference value, which is attribute 4 level 5. So I need attribute 4 level 5 to sort it out. And then we'll have the same table as we had in our paper. Here we have the table, and this is what we need. The variables in the equation, you see we have some statistically significant results. I'm not going to explain them. If you want to know, go and read our paper. It's, by the way, an interesting paper. And now we go to Excel. I create a new sheet and I paste this table somewhere here. So I paste this table. Please check how your Excel is set up because I have the German setting. So the comma is the decimal value position. But if you are in the US, it will be the point or the dot. That's why check what you have. And now we have the willingness. And if it is money, we say willingness to pay. But if it is not money, we say willingness to trade, and the first what we have to trade time. This was the first variable, and I usually call it willingness to trade time, VTTP. And the second one would be the willingness to trade efficiency, C or WTTE. This is the percentage of students' time saved on per student. And you calculate it in a very simple way. You take the b value of your focal variable in this event collaboration, and you divide it by the scalable variable, and this time to establish the ecosystem. This one multiplied by -1. Why -1? Just because we're trading, we have to give 1 unit of it away in order to get it. And look at the following. So now if I close it, everything will be fine. And 3.3, and actually it works fine just because the step in my event is really 1 month. And now we go here, set the $sign. And after we did it, we can drag and drop the file up to this point here. And you see time to establish ecosystem is -1. So for 1 month, we need to offer 1 month. So more or less, we know the calculation is correct. Willingness to trade efficiency was in percent. The same logic. We take the focal construct and divide it by the scalable variable. Now we put, oh, sorry. It didn't work out. I just tried one more time. We take the focal variable, divide it by the scalable variable times -1. And this would be wrong just because we know now the SPSS has seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually we had 5% difference. That's why here we need to multiply it all with a 5, with a step, if you want to get the percentage and not the step. That is why we add here times 5%. We measure it in percent. It's 5 or 0.5? 5. Yeah, 5%. And this is the correct number. So in order to have this type of collaboration one, I think it was sensing, over no collaboration, they are willing to trade the efficiency. They're willing to sacrifice 9% of time savings on working with the students in order to get this option. It is so important that they're really willing to sacrifice and work with each student 10% of the time. They usually spend longer. Now we do the same game here. We add a $sign, and we add a $sign here, and then we can drag and drop it. And we have the willingness to trade table in time. And now theoretically, we can convert this option, collaboration one, which is sensing, compared to no collaboration. And you see how much people are willing to pay. And here they're willing to sacrifice so and so much of efficiency. And here they're willing to wait for 3 months longer in order to get it. So as you see, it just they have different values because the one thing is kind of negative. The more we save, the better, and the second one is positive. The longer we wait, the shorter we wait, the better. So more or less, this is the reason why we see these differences in numbers. I hope it was helpful, and I hope it was useful. You can take this table from any program. You can take it from Stata. Some people ask about this data. Just take your logistic regressions table from Stata with exponential b and b values. Actually, we need only b values for this one. And you can then convert your b values into b values of the scalable variable. And if the step is equal to 1, you retain it like this. And if the step is equal to something else, as I had here, one step was 5% of increase or decrease, then yeah, then it is better. So one more time, just because why is number positive, negative? The more you save on the student, the better, but the longer you wait, the worse. That is why we have here a negative number, here the positive number, and that is why we have in this table kind of waiting longer is bad, but saving more is good. That is why we have this here positive number and here a negative number, but it's all about the willingness to trade efficiency or willingness to trade time. Or if you have the price tag, you can calculate directly willingness to pay. Wish you all the best and see you in the next episodes. If you have any questions, write me a comment. And don't forget to read our paper and also leave a comment to the video with the presentation of this paper that I made last week. I will leave the link in the description below. See you and bye-bye.